This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 2252, Questioning Loyalty, by Shana Olmstead of shanaolmstead.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Optimal Relationships Daily, or ORD. I'm your host, Greg Audino, and I am here with you every day reading from blogs that are all written to help you improve your relationships. And today's post I really enjoy, as it encourages us to think critically about our loyalties and if our commitments to people and things still make sense for us. This type of check-in is always highly important, if you ask me. So let's hear what author Shana Olmstead has to say about it as we optimize your life. Questioning Loyalty, by Shana Olmstead of shanaolmstead.com. We are taught that loyalty means sticking with something or someone no matter what, that we should stick with our tribe and defend our beliefs to the death, that to shift or change the loyalties that we've had means that we are giving up or quitting. This can often lead to sticking with things or people in our lives that are no longer good for us. It can mean sacrificing ourselves and our energy systems to this idea of loyalty that isn't really relevant or helpful anymore. I'm not saying that loyalty is a negative thing. It is beautiful to be committed and compassionately involved in people and structures in your life. I'm just saying that following the idea of loyalty without questioning it is just living unconsciously. It's just giving your power away to an old belief that was passed down from a time in which we no longer inhabit. This idea was helpful in terms of survival in a tribal way of life. If we were disloyal to our tribes thousands of years ago, we would probably die. The time and place that we live in now is very different from this. Although our bodies still have the remembrance of a time when disloyalty may have resulted in real bad consequences, like death, in reality, now those things don't really happen. In North America, in our current time, there are generally no life or death consequences to questioning the idea of loyalty in many aspects of your life. It may feel uncomfortable. It may result in a change in your life circumstances or support group. It may create a difference in the way you think that you are perceived in the world. It is also the only path to freedom and enlightenment. It is the way to truly know yourself and live authentically. It is a necessary part of the yellow brick road of spiritual evolution in your life. This loyalty has shown up most often in my experience with clients in terms of family, relationships, and work. It's common to have unexamined beliefs of loyalty unconsciously keeping people stuck in old systems and patterns that are no longer conducive to their inner growth. This is very common when it comes to family systems. We have the idea that we need to have a certain kind of relationship with our family members that sometimes is just not possible. We feel we must do things a certain way or have a holiday in the same place, even if our internal guidance really wants us to do something else sometimes. In reality, while sometimes family relationships are very fulfilling and mutually energizing, sometimes they're not. I'm not saying to completely disengage in these relationships, but I am saying to start paying attention to your energy more, and to use it to help guide you on what is good and healthy in these relationships, and where and when to set some boundaries. Some questions to consider when reevaluating your family relationships are: am I interacting with this person out of obligation, or do I really want to? Am I staying living in my hometown out of guilt, instead of moving where I really want to go? How frequently feels good to me to interact with or see my family members? In love relationships as well, loyalty can be a beautiful thing. It is inspirational to see couples who have been growing together and beautifully connected for decades. When unexamined, however, the idea of staying together forever no matter what can sometimes be detrimental. In extreme examples, when abuse is present, cultivating loyalty for yourself and getting the heck out of that relationship is much more healthy than staying in a dysfunctional marriage. It can be harder to know what to do when things are more subtle, however. Should you stay or go if things aren't abusive, but also aren't healthy for you or your partner? Starting to ask yourself some questions to open up other possibilities is the place to begin expanding your consciousness about love relationships. Questions like, am I in this marriage right now because I am in love and I am growing with this person? or only out of this idea of loyalty? Am I not expressing my truth in my relationship because I'm worried about being disloyal? Am I listening more to my rational brain telling me I need to stay than my own emotional guidance system? In work as well as relationships, the idea of loyalty can be both a positive when approached mindfully and examined, and a negative when it is unconsciously running your life. Although, as a society, we are evolving out of the old system where we were tied to one job or career for our whole working lives, there are still many people who are staying in jobs or careers that no longer serve them out of this idea of loyalty. This is great for the corporations and systems that employ these super loyal people. They benefit from this system, and they know that their employees will keep putting in 110% no matter how hard it gets. Unfortunately, this unexamined loyalty is not always healthy for the employee. Staying in a job and putting in the majority of your waking hours doing anything out of obligation rather than inspiration leads to unhappiness, stress, disharmony, and disease in the body. Some questions to start with when questioning your job or career loyalties are: am I staying in this job because I don't want to let people down, or are worried what they might think about me leaving? Am I in the career I'm in right now because I really love it, or because I'm good at it, or have education or training in it? Do I feel obligated to do what I do because of other people? It's lovely to commit. It shows character and maturity to be able to stick with something no matter what. It's beautiful to commit to things and people that serve your growth and evolution on a soul level. It only becomes a problem when that commitment becomes unconscious, blind loyalty. We just need to make this loyalty a consciously examined thing. Rather than saying to ourselves, I have to stay committed, a more evolved way of being is curious. What is in my best and highest good in this situation? Is this still helping me grow? Is this creating happiness and aligned with my frequency? With this conscious questioning, we allow the deeper truth of our being to guide us into more alignment with our soul. We must always be loyal and committed to our own energy system. Our highest and best commitment is always to ourselves and our spiritual evolution. In this way, we benefit ourselves as well as the collective. I invite you to commit to find ways every day to express this commitment and loyalty to your own conscious evolution, in service of helping all of us evolve. You just listened to the post titled, Questioning Loyalty by Shana Olmstead of shanaolmstead.com, and I'll be back with my comments in just a sec. Okay, and a big thank you to Shana for this post. I really like this one. Loyalty to people, places, social engagements, rituals, activities, work, etc. is always worth questioning because we absolutely can waste a lot of time on these dedications, far past the point that we're involved with them because we're engaged, or we know what they're about and we fully believe in our participation. But if we've really perfected the questioning of loyalty, then we'll also be able to fully grasp the highs and lows of any commitment. During any lengthy commitment, there will be times at which your presence, maybe feels obligatory, or that there's no growth to be found, or what have you. And sometimes these stretches can last quite a while, and sometimes we can fall into them and question loyalty and decide to leave before actually working through these issues. So, all this to say, for as much as we must question loyalty, we must also ask ourselves if we're willing to put in the work to make the loyalty feel good again. And we must be patient with ourselves and not panic just because abandoning our commitment might feel right for a short period of time or even just in an instant. But that will bring us to the end for today, everybody. I thank you as always for being here and making this episode possible today. Have a great Wednesday if you're listening in real time, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.